So this is a heat of the Diamond Challenge Sculls between Charlie Cousins and Jamie Kirkwood.
Lightweight versus heavyweight, a bit of a beauty versus the beast in this
And look
race.
at that start from Jamie Kirkwood, the lightweight on the right. It is beauty versus the beast. Jamie Kirkwood's absolutely flown out of the start. Charlie Cousins looked a little bit pedestrian over those first 3 strokes.
That is a great start from Jamie. He had a really good start like this at Marlow Regatta.
Well, I'm excited to see what's happened on down the river. You see Matthew Pinson is the umpire of this one, and he will have seen the race open out in front of him as we're coming down. We're in that area that it's where there's no crowd beside you on either side. It becomes really silent when you're racing in a single there. And Charlie Cousins, I think, has been able to make his power and weight help him in this sort of second quarter of the race. They're coming through halfway now, and the crews are looking pretty close, but I think Charlie Cousins to the right has a small lead.
Yeah, so much so, Greg. You can see on the right-hand side of the picture there's quite a big expanse between you and the crowd, and when you're just in a single on your own, all you've got is the voice inside your head, really. And whether that's saying push harder or back off or whatever, it's pretty merciless in the single. You know, it's all or nothing. And Jamie's obviously done the right thing there, going out, guns blazing, trying to rattle Charles as much as he can. But Charles is he's a very, very talented sculler. Look at the sides of him, those long arms, like an albatross, being able to just stretch out there and get such length in the single.
Well, I trained with Charlie Cousins before the London 2012 Olympics, and he was one of those fantastic athletes, so long, so strong, so powerful. He could really turn it on when he needed to. But you talk about what's going on in your head, and I'm really interested to think what's going on in the head of the lightweight man, what's going on in the head of the heavyweight man, as we're still here with this race really going on, coming up here towards the Remenham Club.
Yeah, Jamie's not letting him put it to bed. He's still fighting very hard there, rating high and staying on his tail. So great work from Jamie there. He's making the most of that little puff of tailwind, and such a tidy sculler as well.
Well, the 2 scullers are moving really well here in this latter phase of the race, but it's interesting to see what happened just up at the start when Charlie Cousins had that really slow start, just whether he's just making a little change, looking a bit distracted, dipping the blades in and out. They look a bit deep. And then he has a real twitch.
Yes, a little bit of a hesitation there, whereas Jamie was on the sort of G of go there, wasn't he?
Well, Jamie flew away from the start. He got that good lead. He's an experienced sculler. He's used to training on Poplarly Water. He's an ex-winner of the Wingfield Sculls. Trains on the Tideway most of the time, and he can handle those conditions when he needs to. But Charlie Cousins, he's had another little problem there as he's just hit something. He's really struggling with the conditions today.
Yeah, he's just getting caught out here and there, but it'd be interesting to see what damage that's done to his lead there, because there wasn't much in it. So if Jamie keeps pushing him under pressure like this, Jamie's doing exactly the right stuff, although I think Charles has got a bit of a buffer now looking at the shots here. But yeah, just goes to show you're never really in the safe zone with this, but particularly in the single where you can just catch a little bit of water or a champagne cork or a moorhen or something. You know, you've always got to be keeping your wits about you.
Well, we work pretty hard here at Henley Royal Regatta to keep the birds away. There's goose control and there's swan patrol who look to keep those birds fed and watered and away from the racetrack throughout the regatta. And
the litter patrol as well. So it's all kept pristine, this racetrack as well, isn't it? But there's nothing quite like it, having the sort of the river boats and the river bank. It's not quite. It's something Silverstone doesn't have to offer. You know, it's.
Well, absolutely, this is a different kind of track to racing at Silverstone, a different track to racing at Eton Dorney, where Charlie Cousins was successful at the Marlow Regatta. He won the elite single sculls there. Jamie was third in that race, but there's more to contend with here on the Henley course. There's the washes, there's the booms, of course, and it looks like Charlie has been able to eventually assert his dominance, but he said he was a little bit nervous as well as excited coming into the race, and perhaps some of those nerves have shown through in his start and how he's handled some of the waves on the course.
Both these guys being ex-GB squad guys are now sort of training outside of the system. Charles rowing and coaching at Abingdon, and Jamie rowing at Leander and coaching at Oxford University Women's. So it's interesting how these guys have kept themselves tip-top while running their own show and living their lives outside of the national team.
Well, I think they're both enjoying their sculling outside the national team. I think Charlie will be enjoying his sculling today. He's had a 2-year sabbatical. He's been out in Mozambique, surfing and diving every day, but now he's back sculling, he's back performing, and he's still back learning what it's like to race head-to-head on this Henley course, and we'll see it confirmed. It's taken it out of him, but it was a win in the Diamonds for Charles Cousins over Jamie Kirkwood.